Hi, and welcome to a basic tutorial on how to use curves in Adobe Photoshop. As you can see, I have Photoshop open, and I have already selected the image that I want to adjust. So there are two ways that you can do curves. The first way is you can go up the top here and go Image, Adjustments, and then Curves. However, I don't recommend doing it this way because once you make your adjustments and click OK, the adjustments you've made save directly over the top of the image, and there is no real way for you to go back and fine-tune these adjustments at a later stage. The other way is to use your layers box. If you can't see your layers box, click Window and then Layers, and your layers box will appear. And this is the best way to sort of add adjustment layers, and this also allows you to go back and fine-tune your layers at a later stage, and just toggling them on and off. Really, it's just the best way to go about doing it. So to add a curves adjustment layer, click on the circle that's half shaded in down the bottom and click curves. Now when you're in curves, you'll see this box appear. Basically on your left here with all the dark tones here, this is your shadows. In the middle are your midtones, and to your right are the highlights that you're going to adjust. So what we usually do is we usually go for an S-bend. An S-bend is just a simple way to add a little bit of pop to your photo. Basically just darkens the shadows and lightens the highlights, I believe. So what I usually do is I start off by clicking in the center of the curves section, and then I sort of just go up and down roughly, or a little bit left and right, to find exactly where I'm comfortable with the exposure, where I think it looks a little bit better. This is all just using your own judgment. There's no right or wrong. You just got to really use your own judgment to sort of find out where you like your photo to be. Once you're happy with that, you just let go, and that's an anchor point now, so that's not going to move no matter what other adjustments we make, whether to the shadows or the highlights. We know that the midtones are going to be roughly the same because we've anchored it there. Next, I usually adjust the shadows, so just click around here and just sort of adjust it to where you're happy with the shadows, using your own judgment, of course. And then finally the highlights at the top here, so you just want to bring them up a bit. Cool, and then you can make any more adjustments you want then, fine-tuning it by clicking on your little anchors and just sort of messing around with them. I'm pretty happy with that, and as you can see, there is a real simple S curve. It's hard to see the S obviously, but it's sort of just this pattern, this sort of wave where it goes like that. So once you're done, you're happy with it, just click on the X up the top here, and that saves that adjustment layer above your background layer, which is your original photograph. And then what you can do then is you can click on the eyeball here, just click it on and off, and you can see the adjustment that you've made. You can see if you prefer it better. And in this case, I prefer what I've added. It just makes the image pop a little bit, adds a bit more depth to the shadows and the mids, which is just a bit nicer, I think. Well, that's really all there is to curves. Just to do a basic S curve, just to give that your images a little bit of an extra pop. The next stage will be just to save it, which would be File, Save As. When you add adjustment layers to an image, it'll automatically default to a PSD file, which is a Photoshop file. This isn't very handy for a lot of day-to-day things. So just when you save it, make sure you just change the format from PSD to JPEG and save. It is a good idea, however, to save it as a PSD if if you're adding lots of adjustment layers and you feel that maybe later on down the track you might want to go back and fiddle with individual layers. Then it is a good idea to save a Photoshop file, because not only will that save your image, but it'll also save all your adjustment layers you've added in your layers palette, so you can go back and fine-tune things basically. Yeah, so that's it. Stay tuned for my next video where I'll be showing you how to add more definition to the cloud coverage at the top here. just again to help your photos stand out a little bit and add a little bit more, a few more interesting aspects to your sort of holiday photos. Cool, thank you.